First. Shinkai Makoto. Source: ChatGPT. Makoto Shinkai is a famous Japanese animation director, screenwriter, and animator. He is renowned for his tender, delicate and imaginative works. Shinkai's works often deal with themes such as love, loneliness, time, and distance, as well as profound expressions of nature and human emotions. One of his best-known works is the 2002 short film Voices of a Distant Star, which attracted a lot of attention because it was produced almost single-handedly by Makoto Shinkai. Another acclaimed film was 2007's 5 cm per second, which was a firm favorite and was widely praised for its beautiful visuals and moving story. However, Shinkai's real breakthrough came with the 2016 film Your Name. The film became a global phenomenon, breaking box office records for Japanese animation and winning numerous awards. It tells the story of two young people who unexpectedly swap bodies, blending elements of love, fantasy, and time and space. Makoto Shinkai's work has been widely praised for its captivating visuals, deep emotions, and compelling stories, making him a shining star in the Japanese animation industry. Source: Wikipedia. Shinkai Makoto, Japanese, Shinkai Makoto, February 9, 1973, whose real name is Naitsu Makoto, is a Japanese animation writer and film director. He was born in Umai Town, Minamisaka-gun, Nagano Prefecture, and now lives in Tokyo. Makoto Shinkai began to attract attention in 2002 after releasing the independently produced animated short film Voice of the Stars. The 2016 animated feature film Your Name directed by him was a hit, and he became the second Japanese animation director after Hayao Miyazaki to achieve a box office of tens of billions of yen. Previously there was New Generation, Miyazaki Hayao, The New Miyazaki, and other titles. Makoto Shinkai himself said that being as famous as Miyazaki Hayao is actually too much. Makoto Shinkai claimed to be influenced by the Dracula movie and the Ghibli animation Castle in the Sky he watched in middle school, and he hopes to make stunning works like that himself. The works of Haruki Murakami that he first came into contact with in high school also had a great influence on him. The first work he read was Norwegian Wood. In 2002, he began to attract attention after the independently produced science fiction animated short film Voice of the Stars was released. Currently working as a video writer at Comics Wave Films. In 2016, he wrote and directed the animated film Your Name, for which he won the Best Screenplay Award at the 40th Japan Film Academy Awards and the Best Director Award at the 26th Japan Film Critics Awards. After graduating from university, he worked at Japan's Falcom, producing title films for the company's video games Kakabu Trilogy and YS2 while also producing independently produced animations. In 1997, he won the Special Award at EAT 98 for The Distant World. In 1998, he used full 3D CG for the first time to produce a 30-second short film The Surrounded World as a practice for the upcoming first game title animation Monarch. In 2000, Her and Her Cat won the grand prize in the 12th CG Animation Competition, hosted by Project Team Doga. Some reviews of She and Her Cat described the work as gripping, original text, like a piano string that touches the heart. After winning the grand prize, Xin Hiken began to think about the creation of his next work. A few months later, in June 2000, around the same time that PlayStation 2 went on sale and DVDs became popular, Makoto Shinkai was inspired by a painting of a girl holding a phone in a cockpit and began to create his second work, Voice of the Stars. Later, Mangazu, the predecessor of Comics Wave, contacted him and hoped to collaborate with him in the form of funding so that he could turn his ideas into animations that could be sold by Mangazu. And started working on the science fiction themed Voice of the Stars. After working for Falcom in Japan for about 5 years, he quit the company and became a freelance worker. In 2002, Voice of the Stars was released. Almost all the work of directing, scripting, acting, painting, art and editing was performed by one person for about 25 minutes of full digital animation, significantly surpassing other independent productions in the past. The quality of his work has attracted considerable attention. In the interview, Makoto Shinkai revealed that he was influenced by the works of Haruki Murakami. This work won the Excellence Award in the 21st Public Fundraising section of the first New Century Tokyo International Animation Expo. In an interview, Shinkai mentioned that the animation took about 7 months of actual work. In the spring of 2003, Shinkai Makoto and Tazawa Shio produced a 5-minute animated short film Smiley Face, for the NHK program Everyone's Song. In 2004, the first feature-length film Beyond the Clouds, The Promised Place was released in Japan. It was highly praised for its ingenious combination of painting quality, exquisite performances, and music that surpassed the previous work. This work won the 59th Mainichi Movie Awards Animation Film Award over works such as Howl's Moving Castle. On June 5, 2005, the NHK program Top Runner, called Shinkai Makoto as a video writer with high reputation as the standard bearer of the post-Miyazaki generation. On March 3, 2007, the short animated series 5 cm per second was released to the public, and the DVD was also released in Japan in July. 5 cm per second tells the story of a pair of close childhood friends Takaki Tono and Akari Shinohara who faced distance and separation as they grew up, as well as Takaki's experience of communicating with a local girl Hani Sumida while staying in Tanegashima. 5 cm received praise for its artistic animation, emotional portrayal of characters, and the issue of distance. From mid-January to mid-February 2008, Makoto Shinkai decided to launch digital animation production seminars targeting local creators in Jordan, Amman, Qatar, Doha, and Syria, Damascus. In addition, I plan to stay in a small dormitory at an English school in London for about a year after the seminar. In addition, from 2001 to 2008, he also participated in the production of the title videos of several games for the adult game brand Minori. In April 2009, Shinkai returned to Japan. On December 24, 2009, Makoto Shinkai announced on his official website that the original cast of 5 cm per second had been assembled and production of the latest animated film Kids Chasing Stars had begun at full speed. Children Chasing Stars was released in May 2011. It tells the story of Asuna Watase, a girl from the countryside, who briefly became friends with Shun, a boy from the underground world Yagatai, but after Shun's death, he met Shun's younger brother by chance. Start the adventure in Yagatai. After its release, Children Chasing Stars received mixed reviews and failed at the box office, becoming Makoto Shinkai's first money-losing film. In September 2012, due to the opening of workshops in the Middle East and seminars in various places, Makoto Shinkai was selected as the most active Japanese in the world and received a gift from Motohisa Furukawa, the minister in charge of the National Strategy Office of the Cabinet Office. Certificate of Thanks. On May 31, 2013, The Garden of Words was released. The film describes Takao Akizuki, a male high school student with an ambition to make shoes, who meets Yukino Momika Sato, a woman who is suffering from psychological torture and unable to move forward, at the Shinjuku Gion Garden on a rainy day. A love story intertwined with each other, and the theater limited DVD and BD are also available for sale first, with general sales starting on June 21. The Garden of Words was favored for its touching visual art animation, music, and themes related to loneliness. It was awarded the Jury's Choice Award at the 17th Agency for Cultural Affairs Media Art Festival and the 2014 Stuttgart International Animation Film Festival Animation Feature Film Award. The Jury Award for Best Script at the 2016 Japan Expo Animation Awards and other awards. The film will be adapted into a stage play in 2023. Your Name was released on August 26, 2016. The film tells the story of Taki Tachibana, a male high school student living in Tokyo, and Mitsuha Miyamizu, a female high school student living in Itamori Town, because their spirits are swapped into each other's bodies, extending a period that spans time and space. The fantasy and romantic experience changed the fate of the residents of Itamori Town who were killed in the comet impact incident. On September 22, the film's box office exceeded 10 billion yen, and the box office exceeded 10 billion in 28 days after its release. The wide response received by the movie gave Makoto Shinkai the idea of making Weathering with You, which later influenced the creation of Suzuya's Journey. Your Name, Weathering with You, and The Journey of Suzuya are called Makoto Shinkai's disaster trilogy by film critics. Weathering with You was released on July 19, 2019. The film describes the encounter between Morishima Hodaka, a boy who ran away from home, and Amano Hina, a girl who can make the weather sunny. The two brought about changes that could affect the world. On the 34th day of release, August 21, the national box office exceeded the 10 billion yen mark, making Makoto Shinkai the second Japanese film director after Hayao Miyazaki to achieve two works exceeding 10 billion yen. Weathering with You generally received mixed reviews in Japan. The visual animation, art, and soundtrack received praise, while the plot and protagonists' actions received mixed reviews. The film received mainly positive reviews from European and American film critics. The film won the Social Impact Award in the Animation Department at the 23rd Agency for Cultural Affairs Media Arts Festival, the Best Theatrical Animation at the 19th Tokyo Animation Awards, the Best Animation Award and the Best Music Award at the 43rd Japan Film Academy Awards, etc. Awards, and was nominated for a total of 4 awards at the 47th Annie Awards. It was selected as a candidate to represent Japan in the competition for Best International Film and Best Animated Feature Film at the 92nd Academy Awards, but ultimately failed to make the finals. In November 2022, to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Japan and India, the Nippon Foundation held the Makoto Shinkai Film Festival in India, showing 6 of Makoto Shinkai's films. On November 11 of the same year, Suzuya's Journey was released. It tells the story of the adventure of Suzuya Iwato, an orphan girl from the Great East Japan earthquake, and Soda Soda, a closed-door master who closed the door to disaster, in order to close the door to disaster. On the 45th day of its release, the national box office exceeded 10 billion yen, becoming Makoto Shinkai's third work to exceed 10 billion yen. The film was shortlisted for the main competition section of the Berlin Film Festival. This is the first time that a Japanese animation has been selected for the main competition section of the Berlin Film Festival after 21 years since The Hidden Girl. Second. Kimi no Nawa. Source, ChatGPT. Your Name is an animated film directed, written, and produced by Japanese animation director Makoto Shinkai, which was released in 2016. The film became a global phenomenon, achieving critical success and widespread acclaim. The movie tells the story of two young people, one is Mitsuha, a female high school student living in the countryside, and the other is Taki, a male high school student living in Tokyo. They unexpectedly begin to exchange bodies and lives in their dreams, which leads them to understand each other and gradually fall in love. However, as time passes, they discover that there is a deeper secret hidden behind this wonderful exchange, involving time, space, and destiny. Your Name has been widely praised by audiences and critics for its beautiful graphics, beautiful music, deep emotions, and excellent story. The film not only broke box office records in Japan, but also won many awards worldwide and became one of the classics in the Japanese animation industry. Source, Wikipedia. Your Name, Japanese, Kimi no Nawa, is an animated film written and directed by Japanese animation director Makoto Shinkai and premiered in Japan on August 26, 2016. The film is character designed by Masaga Tanaka, the drawing director is Masashi Ando, and the music is produced by the rock band Raidwimps. Movie stars Ryuna Shokamaki and Mokami Shiroishi voice the male and female protagonists in the film respectively. This work, together with Weathering with You and Suzua's Journey, is called Shinkai Makoto's Disaster Trilogy. The story tells the story of Taki Tachibana, a boy living in Tokyo, and Mitsuha Miyamizu, a girl from Itomori town, who accidentally discovered after each other's consciousnesses are exchanged with each other, a series of strange encounters will unfold. This work is also intertwined with the story of Weathering with You released by the author Makoto Shinkai in 2019. This work is the first work by Makoto Shinkai to adopt the production committee method. After its release, the film topped the box office in Japan for several weeks. The total box office in Japan and overseas reached $380 million, making it the highest box office achievement in Makoto Shinkai's directing career. The film received rave reviews upon its release, with media and film critics praising the film's visual art, animation, music, character charm and emotional tension. The film won film awards including the Best Animated Feature Film Award at the Sitges Film Festival in Spain. The derivative work novel Your Name won the 2017 Shugoi Japan Award first prize in the entertainment novel category. The wide response received by this work has led to the development of the tourism industry in movie-related locations. It has also been included in Japan's 5-year elementary school ethics textbook approved in 2023 and launched in 2024. Textbook approved by the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, as an introduction to Japanese traditional culture. One of the exemplary works in the field of animation. Comet Tiamat, Comet Tuamat, visits Earth every 1,200 years. In the remote mountain town of Itomorimaki, the high school girl Mitsuha Miyamizu, whose family has been running the town's Miyamizu Shrine for generations, and the high school boy Tachibana Taki of Yotsuya, Tokyo, start from one day, when sleeping, the souls will exchange. When I wake up, I don't remember anything. I feel like I had a wonderful dream, but the people around me will tell them that yesterday was unusual. The two of them soon realized this situation. In confusion, they began to leave messages on each other's mobile phones, and gradually became accustomed to switching bodies and interfering in each other's lives. Mitsuha is not only happy with the life in Tokyo that she longs for, but also takes advantage of the woman's heart to help Taki get closer to the beautiful senior Okitara where she works, and facilitates a date with her, while Taki uses a masculine image to help the weak Mitsuha become more successful in her school. Popular, both parties gradually develop a good impression of each other. One time Mitsuha, Taki, her younger sister Yotsuba, and her grandmother walked to Miyamizu Shrine's Goshin body on the mountain outside the town. On the way, her grandmother told them, spirit creation and knot can connect people and time. They are essentially the same, so successive generations of shrine maidens of the Miyamizu family have weaved knotted ropes to represent it. Water, alcohol, etc. can also form a connection with time when they enter the human body. The three of them paid homage to the god's body on the caldera-shaped depression Kakuryo, and made half-body sacrifices with sake chewed in their mouths. On the way back, when Mitsuha, Taki, her sister Yotsuba, and her grandmother were watching the sunset over Lake Itomori, her grandmother said to Mitsuha, Taki, are you dreaming? After hearing this, Taki woke up from the bed and found himself crying. When Taki was on a date with Okitara, he accidentally saw a photo of Hida City that evoked his memory. Mitsuha left a message telling Taki that he could see the comet after the date. Taki thought this was very strange and decided to call to inquire but couldn't get through. And since that day he never exchanged bodies with Sanyi again. Full of questions, he used his good sketching skills to draw fragments of impressions, and went to Hida with his classmate Fujii Tsukasa and his senior Okudera to find out. While Taki and his team were questioning local residents with their sketches, but encountered obstacles everywhere, they met a ramen shop owner and chatted about their hometown. They learned that the place was called Itamori Town, and the ramen shop owner led them there. It was no longer inhabited. The Hara Itamori Town area. 3 years ago, a comet split off from Comet Amat hit the area around the Miyamizu shrine where the autumn festival was being held. Most of the village and town were destroyed, and more than 500 townspeople, including the Miyamizu family and their unfortunately, all friends died. Taki, who didn't believe this fact, turned on his phone and found that all Mitsuha's messages had disappeared one by one, and historical documents also listed her in the list of victims. That night, when talking to Okudera about the unknown knotted rope token in Taki's hand, Taki remembered that Mitsuha's grandmother once said that the birth of spirits can connect people and time, so he decided to go to Itamori Town to find something related to Mitsuha and the fall of the comet. After leaving a note to explain the reason to Fujii Tsukasa and Okudera, he went to the Goshin body in Itamori Town with the help of the ramen shop owner. After Taki arrived at the Goshin body, he tried to drink the chewing wine that Mitsuha made 3 years ago and left behind at the time. A wave of dizziness struck him, and when he accidentally stumbled, various episodes of Mitsuha's life in the past seemed to come to him. At the moment, when Taki came to his senses, he found that he had once again exchanged bodies with Mitsuha from 3 years ago. When Mitsuha, Taki, was thinking about how to save Itamori Town before the comet fell, her grandmother found out and mentioned that she, Futaba, and even the entire Miyamizu family had experienced dreamlike trances, but she had missed the memory. Special warning to Mitsuba, Taki, to cherish this fate. Mitsuba, Taki, told his friends Katsuhiko Kawara and Sayaka Natori to explain the situation and began to plan an evacuation operation. They found out that Lake Itamori surrounding the town was also an impact crater caused by a meteorite, which deepened their belief. Imperial Commander Katsuhiko Kawara was responsible for causing a commotion by blasting the substation near Itamori Town with water glue explosives. Sayaka Natori evacuated the townspeople through the radio after the explosion. Mitsuha, Taki, ran to talk to her father, who was the mayor of the town. The townspeople were asked to evacuate. During the dispute, the mayor also discovered from Mitsuha's behavior that she did not seem to be Mitsuha. While Mitsuha, was running around, Taki, Mitsuha, woke up in the Goshin body and was confused as to why Taki's body was in the Goshin body. The curious Taki, Mitsuha, saw the disappearance when he walked out of the top of the Goshin body town, only to realize that he had died while watching the comet. When Mitsuha, Taki, returned to the godly body, the two were able to meet each other at dusk. After a brief exchange of greetings, in order to avoid forgetting each other again, Taki suggested that both parties write their names on each other's hands. When Mitsuha was about to write his name on Taki's hand, the two separated again, and Taki wrote "I like you" on Mitsuha's hand. After returning to his true form, Mitsuha continued to implement Taki's unfinished plan, causing a commotion and prompting the townspeople to evacuate. However, the actions of his peers were blocked by the mayor. At this time, Mitsuha saw the fragments of the comet starting to fall, and hurriedly went to lobby his father again. Time jumps to 5 years after Taki returned from Hida. Taki has already entered social work, and his various memories of his time in the god body have become blurred. He thought he had a quarrel with Fujii Tsukasa and Okudera, and then ran to the top of the mountain to relax in anger. He returned to Tokyo. Later, he unconsciously paid attention to the place Itamori, and learned from news records that the townspeople escaped due to the mayor's instructions to evacuate to the local high school in the name of exercise. Even 8 years after the comet disaster, 2021, Taki, who graduated from college and was looking for a job in Tokyo, still vaguely wanted to find someone, and passed Mitsuha several times during this period. By chance, Taki and Mitsuba were surprised to meet each other across different tram carriages. After getting off the car, the two parties anxiously wanted to see each other, and finally met on the stairs. At this time, Taki and Mitsuha gradually became familiar with each other. At that moment when they reunited after a long separation, tears could not stop sliding down their faces. When the two were about to miss it again, Taki, who couldn't bear to miss it again, asked, "Have I seen you somewhere?" Mitsuha replied with tears, "Me too," and finally, both parties smiled and asked, "You, what's your name?" 3rd. Tenki no Ko. Source, ChatGPT. Weathering with You is a film directed and written by Japanese animation director Makoto Shinkai and released in 2019. The film continues the style and themes of Makoto Shinkai's work, incorporating elements of romance, fantasy, and environmental awareness. The story revolves around a boy named Hodaka who leaves his hometown for Tokyo, where he meets a girl named Hina who has a special ability and can control the weather. The two decide to get through the tough days together, while Hodaka also helps Hina start a business that provides people with sunny weather through her special abilities. However, as time passed, they discovered that this ability had unforeseen consequences, threatening the security of the entire city. Weathering with You has been widely praised by audiences and critics for its stunning visuals, beautiful music, and profound emotions. The film was a huge success worldwide, becoming one of the most popular Japanese animations of 2019 and winning multiple awards. This work continues Shinkai's successful tradition of exploring the subtle connections between human emotions and nature, and provoking thoughtful reflections on environmental issues. Source: Wikipedia. Weathering with You, Japanese, Tenki no Ko, English, Weathering with You, is an animated film written and directed by Japanese animation director Makoto Shinkai. It was released in Japan on July 19, 2019. This film is produced by Comics Wave Films and is Makoto Shinkai's second collaboration with Toho after Your Name. The plot of this film has elements of fantasy and romance. It tells the story of a boy who ran away from home and his encounter with a girl who can make the weather clear. The worldview of the film has some overlap with Makoto Shinkai's previous work Your Name. This film is also Makoto Shinkai's second disaster-themed animated film after Your Name. Together with Your Name and Suzua's Journey, it is called the Disaster Trilogy. After Makoto Shinkai completed Your Name, he chose the theme of weather in order to resonate with the audience, and declared that this would be a movie that did not cater to universal values and had polarizing reviews. He proposed the prototype of the script in February 2017 and began writing the script in July of the same year. The film's character design and soundtrack were once again provided by Your Name Masaga Tanaka and Raidwimps, and the art director was by The Garden of Words Takaguchi Hiroshi. Originally, Masashi Ando of Your Name was the animation director, but he was replaced by Atsushi Tamura due to lack of background. The crew started the animation painting project in May 2018, and the entire film was completed in July 2019. After the film was released in Japan, it earned more than 14 billion yen at the box office, ranking 16th in the country's film history. Makoto Shinkai also became the second Japanese animation director after Hayao Miyazaki to have two works with a box office of tens of billions of yen. However, as Shinkai Makoto declared, the outside world has two polar opinions on Weathering with You. The differences mainly appear in the degree of recognition of the protagonist's behavior and plot. The animation quality and soundtrack have generally been praised. The film represented Japan in the competition for Best International Film at the 92nd Academy Awards, and was shortlisted for Best Animated Feature Film, but ultimately failed to make the cut. In the summer of 2021, Morishima Hodaka, a first-year high school boy living on Kozu Island, ran away from home and took a cargo ship to Shinjuku, Tokyo alone. Fangao temporarily lives in an internet cafe and looks for part-time job opportunities, but no one wants to hire him. After being bullied by a pimp in Kabukicho, Hodaka accidentally picked up a pistol, but he was not sure if it was real. Desperate, Hodaka had no choice but to find the writer Shuga Keisuke, whom he met on the cargo ship. Shuga and his niece Natsumi run an editorial office that specializes in submitting articles to occult magazines. Shuga offered Hodaka a job opportunity with food and accommodation included, and Hodaka readily agreed and began doing odd jobs in the office and assisting in writing articles. Due to the abnormal climate of long-term rain in the Kanto region, urban legends such as 100% Haruana began to spread. It is said that Haruana has the ability to temporarily make the weather clear, and Shuga's office listed it as a subject of investigation. One day, Fang Jiao met a working girl who had helped him on the street. He saw her with a pimp, so he tried to take her away by force, but was knocked down by the pimp. Hodaka took out the gun he picked up and tried to intimidate the other party, but the bullet actually shot out. After Hodaka and the girl escaped to a nearby abandoned building, the girl claimed that she was involved with the other party to make money and accused Hodaka of dangerous behavior. Hodaka threw away the gun, and the girl's attitude subsequently became gentle, and she showed Hodaka her ability to make local weather temporarily clear, and Hodaka discovered that she was a genuine sunny girl. The girl told Hodaka that her name was Hina, that she was about to turn 18 and lived with her younger brother Nagi, who was in elementary school. Because Haruna lost her job, Hajeo suggested that she use Haruna's abilities to make money and set up a commissioned website on the internet. Haruna completed the commissions one after another, feeling very satisfied that she could make everyone happy, and Haruna became more and more famous. During a commission, Hina was photographed by the media when she cleared the sky where fireworks were about to be released. As a result, a large number of commissions poured in. Hina felt tired and decided to take a rest. At the same time, Shuga and Natsumi also investigate the ominous legend about Haru no Witch, Weather Witch. Hodaka's family issued a missing person request to the police, and the police also began to investigate the shooting incident of Hodaka that day. A police officer came to Shuga's office. Shuga was fighting for the custody of his daughter and did not want to get into trouble, so he chose to dismiss Hodaka and ask him to go home. On the other hand, the police's child consultation staff also asked Hina and Nagi and said that minors were not suitable for themselves to live. Afraid of being separated, Hodaka, Hina and Nagi began to run away. During the escape, unusual weather conditions began to appear. It actually snowed in the summer. The three of them finally found a love hotel that was willing to let them stay, and they spent a happy time together that night. When sleeping at night, Hina's body becomes more and more transparent. This may be the price of Haru's ability, or it may be related to the ancient legend that the weather witch is a living sacrifice that maintains stable weather. Hajeo had a dream about Hina leaving. When he woke up at dawn, Hina was gone. It didn't take long for the police to enter the hotel room to search, escort Hodaka to the police station, and take Nagi to the child welfare center. During the process, Hodaka discovered that the long-lost sunshine in Tokyo was the result of Hina's sacrifice, and learned that Hina's real age was actually younger than him. Hodaka tried to tell the police about Haruyo, but they were not taken seriously. Fang Jiao then took advantage of the opportunity to escape from the police station, with the police chasing after him. Natsumi rides a bicycle to meet Hodaka, but is unable to move forward due to water accumulation. The train stopped running due to abnormal weather, so Hodaka jumped on the rails and started running wildly, heading to the abandoned building where Hina gained her powers and where she cleared the sky for the first time to show Hodaka. In the abandoned building, Hodaka was stopped by Shuga who came to see him, so he picked up the pistol he had thrown here before and fired a shot into the air with determination. The police then surrounded Fang Jiao and restrained him forcefully. Shuga was moved by Hodaka's attitude, and Nagi, who arrived, helped Hodaka restrain the police and let him go to the roof. After praying on the roof of the building, Hodaka went up to the clouds. He chose Hina between let the weather clear up and bring Hina back, and rescued Hina who was trapped in the sky. Afterwards, Fan Gao was arrested and his guilt was reduced accordingly. He was only sentenced to be supervised until he graduated from high school. After Hina was rescued, the rain in Tokyo never stopped for 2.5 years, turning some areas of Tokyo into a vast ocean. In 2024, Hodaka moved to Tokyo to study at university, and finally reunited with Hina. 4th. Suzume no Tojimari. Source, ChatGPT. Suzume no Tojimari, Suzume no Tojimari, is an animated film created by Makoto Shinkai. It will be released in Japan on November 11, 2022, and will be released overseas in the spring of the following year. This film is considered to be Makoto Shinkai's 8th animated film and his 3rd work involving disaster themes after Your Name and Weathering with You. The 3 films are called Makoto Shinkai's Disasters Trilogy. The film tells the story of a young girl, Suzume Iwato, and Sota Munakata, a closer whose mission is to close the door to disaster. They embark on a series of adventures in order to close the door to disaster. The story is set throughout Japan, running through Miyazaki Prefecture in Kyushu, Ehime Prefecture in Shikoku, Kobe, Tokyo, Miyagi Prefecture, and Iwate Prefecture in Tohoku. The film received positive reviews from the outside world, especially for its visual animation, scene depiction, soundtrack, character emotions, and confrontation with the Great East Japan earthquake. However, there are also differences in opinions, mainly focusing on the actions of the protagonist, the portrayal of the relationship between the male and female protagonists, and the depiction of disaster creatures in the film. In terms of box office, Suzume's Journey became Makoto Shinkai's 3rd film with a domestic box office exceeding 10 billion yen in Japan, and was recognized in multiple awards, including participating in the main competition of the 73rd Berlin Film Festival. The 81st it won the Best Animation Award at the 2016 Golden Globe Awards, the Outstanding Animation Award and the Best Music Award at the 46th Japan Film Academy Awards. Source, Wikipedia. Suzume no Tojimari, Japanese, Suzume no Tojimari, is a Japanese animated film written and directed by Makoto Shinkai. It will be released in Japan on November 11, 2022 and overseas in the spring of the following year. This film is Makoto Shinkai's 8th animated film and his 3rd film involving disaster themes after Your Name and Weathering with You. The 3 films are collectively called Makoto Shinkai's Disaster Trilogy. The story tells the story of a young girl, Suzuha Iwato, and Munakata Suda, a door master whose mission is to close the door to disaster. They embark on a series of adventures in order to close the door to disaster. The film's preface slogan is "On the other side of the door, there is all time," and the official poster slogan is "I'm going." Makoto Shinkai's inspiration for creating this film came from the decrease in population and the increase in green space when he was traveling to various parts of Japan for work. During the severe infectious pneumonia epidemic, he discovered that Shinjuku, Tokyo, which was once a bustling area, had become quiet. When he conceived the plot of the film and novel, he incorporated Eastern Japan's Great Earthquake event. This film is the first work created by Makoto Shinkai in the form of a road movie. The story takes place throughout the Japanese archipelago, including Miyazaki Prefecture in Kyushu, Ehime Prefecture in Shikoku, Kobe, Tokyo, Miyagi Prefecture, and Iwate Prefecture in Tohoku. After the film was released, it became Makoto Shinkai's 3rd film with a domestic box office of over 10 billion yen in Japan, and received mainly positive reviews from the outside world, the media and film critics praised the visual animation, scene description, soundtrack, character emotions, and direct response to the Great East Japan earthquake. On the topic of disasters, the differences in opinions were mainly focused on the actions of the protagonist and the portrayal of the relationship between the male and female protagonists. The film's depiction of disaster biological bodies and the similar plot structure to Your Name and Weathering with You were criticized by some film critics. The film was shortlisted for the main competition unit of the 73rd Berlin Film Festival and the 81st Golden Globe Award for Best Animation. It won the Outstanding Animation Award and the Best Music Award at the 46th Japan Film Academy Awards. Matsumura Hokuto, who participated in the film, won the Topic Actor Award. At the 51st Annie Awards, The Heron and the Boy directed by Hayao Miyazaki was nominated for 7 awards, becoming the highest number of Japanese animated films nominated for the Annie Awards in the past years. The film also turned the relevant filming locations into tourist attractions. Iwado Suzume is a 16-year-old girl who lives with her aunt Tamaki in a port town in Miyazaki Prefecture, Kyushu. For a long time, she has often dreamed of herself walking in the grassland as a child and seeing a certain figure. On September 25, 2023, while riding a bicycle to school, she met a young man who was traveling around looking for the door. Suzume followed the young man to the ruins in the mountain, where she found an old door and reached out to the door by mistake. When she opened the door, she saw the sky that had appeared in her dreams for a long time and all time seemed to merge together. She also found a cat-shaped stone statue near the door, but after Suzume picked up the stone statue, it turned into a creature and ran away. After returning to school, Suzume and others experienced an earthquake. When she noticed an abnormal presence in the ruins of the mountain that only she could see, she immediately rushed to the ruins and found that the young man she met earlier was working hard to push away the unknown force. The door was closed. She tried to help the young man close the door, but the young man was injured trying to protect her. In the end, the young man chanted a mantra and took out a special key to lock the door, and then officially closed the door. The unknown force immediately turned into raindrops and disappeared. Suzume took the young man to his home to deal with his injuries. The young man told Suzume that he was responsible for closing the back door that connected the eternal world of the deceased to prevent earthworms from escaping from the back door and causing disasters. The master is like Suda. The so-called earthworms are huge forces that move under the Japanese archipelago. They have no so-called purpose and will. As long as they have accumulated enough distortion, they will directly appear, destroy the dead and shake the earth. As long as there is no use of requiring stones suppress the back door, the earthworms will still appear again. After the explanation, the young man introduced his name to Suzume as Suda. At this time, a small white cat appeared on the windowsill of Suzume's room. Suzume fed the white cat with dried fish and water and asked if it wanted to be her child. The white cat opened her mouth and replied that she liked Suzume but disliked Suda. After getting in the way, Suda's figure immediately disappeared, and his consciousness possessed the three-legged yellow chair in Suzume's house. The white cat took the opportunity to escape, forcing Suzume to take the cat with her in order to catch up with the white cat and Suda who had transformed into a chair. Suda's key chased after the two, and they hurriedly said goodbye to Tamaki and Tamaki's colleague Okabe Minoru. Shiro, Suda, and Suzume immediately boarded the ferry and left the harbor. Shiro passed by and had a conversation with Suda in the form of a chair. After the confrontation, he jumped to another boat and ran away. The next day, Suzume and Suda arrived at the port in the western part of Ehime Prefecture, Shikoku by boat. At the same time, the white cat was photographed by passers-by and uploaded to social networking sites because of its special appearance. It became the focus and was nicknamed Minister. Suzume and Suda also began to use social networking sites to track the minister's whereabouts. In Ehime, Suzume and Suda met Chika Keifu, a female high school student of the same age as Suzume, at a local mikan orchard. When they noticed dark red smoke emerging from the mountainous area, Chika took the two of them there on a motorcycle. In the area, Suzume and Suda followed the direction of the dark red smoke and walked deep into the mountains. They found that the power of earthworms was pouring out of the door of an abandoned school. In view of the limited movement of Suda in the form of a chair, Suzume then took Suda's key and closed the back door according to Suda's instructions. That night, Chigo and her family let Suzume and Suda stay at a B&B run by their family. Chigo revealed that the abandoned school was originally her alma mater when she was in junior high school. A few years ago, the school collapsed due to a collapse. It was abandoned and all the residents of the village moved away from the local area. The next day, after Suzume saw the minister walking on the Akashi Kaikyo bridge on TV, she and Suda decided to go to Kobe to say goodbye to Chigo, and also obtained clothes and chairs from Chigo, Suda, backpack. Suzume and Suda stayed at a bus shelter to take shelter from the rain. They met Rumi Ninomiya, a tavern owner who was driving back to Kobe from her hometown in Matsuyama City. In return for Rumi's help, she gave them a ride and provided food and accommodation. Tai volunteers to help her take care of her young twins, and Suzume even helps Rumi greet customers in the store. The minister hiding in the store was discovered and hurriedly escaped from the store. When Suzuya and Sita chased the minister, they found earthworms emerging from the Ferris wheel in a closed amusement park on the outskirts of the city. Suzuya spent a whole day on the Ferris wheel. It took a lot of effort to close the back door, and afterward, Rumi lectured him because he came home too late. Suzuya once again discovered the minister's whereabouts on the social networking site. She and Sita took Rumi's car to Shinkobe Station, said goodbye to Rumi, and took the Shinkansen to Tokyo. She also discovered that Tamaki had sent as many as 55 messages continuously through mobile communication software. Message to her. After arriving in Tokyo, Sita took Suzume to his apartment in Achinamazu to inquire about information. Sita's friend Serizawa Tomoya also came to the apartment to look for him because Sita had been missing in the past few days. At this time, the earthquake alarm suddenly there was a sound, and a huge earthworm appeared from the entrance of the subway tunnel next to the Kanda River near the apartment. Sita realizes that another Kaname is loose. There are 2 Kaname stones, so Suzume takes Sita and jumps to the earthworm that has left the ground and flies over Tokyo, trying to get the minister who also jumped on the earthworm to return to the earthworm. As Eikaisuke, the minister unexpectedly announced that he was no longer Eikaisuke. Sita also found that his conscious time was getting less and less, that is, when he was transformed into a chair, he took over the Kaisuke. Suzuya couldn't accept this, but the minister told her that the earthquake would cause a large number of casualties, so she had no choice but to cry and stab Sita, who became the keystone, into the earthworms to relieve the earthquake crisis. After temporarily calming the earthworm, Suzume closes the back door of Tokyo, located deep underground near the Imperial Palace, and becomes angry at the minister who made Sita a keystone. After asking for help from Sita's hospitalized grandfather Munakata Yoro, Suzume decided to enter the Eternal World through the only door she could pass through and bring Sita back, and that door was close to her in Iwate Prefecture in the northeast. Hometown. Suzume returned to Sita's residence to freshen up and change her clothes before heading back to her hometown. However, she was intercepted by Serizawa in front of Achinamazu Station. At the same time, the two of them encountered Tamaki who was pursuing Tokyo from Kyushu, plus the uninvited visitor. As the minister, Suzume, and his entourage drove from Serizawa to the northeast, Tamaki was dissatisfied with Suzume for running away from home without authorization, which led to a dispute between the aunt and nephew. When the group was at a road rest stop, Tamaki and Suzume had a big argument, and another important stone, the black cat Minister Zo appeared in front of the two people and the minister. Tamaki realized that he had made a mistake towards Suzume and ran to cry to Serizawa. Serizawa could only feel helpless at the shady secrets behind Suzume and his party. The atmosphere was tense and Suzume and his party continued on the road. On the way, because Minister Zo spoke, the group's car accidentally fell into a breakdown on the roadside. Tamaki decided to ride a bicycle to carry Suzume, Minister, and Minister Zo, and continue to arrive. Because of the disaster many years ago, now only the remains of Suzuya's hometown remain. Suzuya found a diary from her childhood in the fields of her hometown, and recalled the location of the only door she could enter and the memories related to the disaster. She, along with the minister and Minister Zo, stepped into the eternal world behind the door. After entering the ordinary world, Minister Zo used his supernatural power to fight against the earthworms that were trying to escape into the real world. Suzuya found Sita in the form of a chair that had been stabbed by the earthworms, and pulled him out with the help of the minister, allowing Sita to return to his human form. Appearance. Sita and Suzuya work together, and with the help of Minister Zo, they will once again transform into the Kaishi Minister and Minister Zo to regain control of the earthworms. After the incident was completed, Suzuya saw her childhood self on the other side of the real world. She handed her the three-legged yellow chair and realized that the figure she had seen in her dreams for many years was exactly her grown-up self. Suzuya greeted her childhood self and encouraged the latter to grow up well. Then she followed Sita to leave the ordinary world and return to the real world, officially locking this door. After several days of adventure, Suzume met up with Serizawa and Tamaki, and Sita said goodbye to Suzume early and promised to visit her in the future. Suzume and Huan return home along the same route, and meet people who helped Suzume along the way. Suzume, who has returned to daily life, studies hard to prepare for the next exam. At the end of the story, Suzuya reunited with Sita on her way to school by bike in winter, and happily praised Sita, "Welcome back." 5th. Japanese surname, Munakata. Source, ChatGPT. The Japanese surname Munakata is a relatively common surname usually found in the western region of Japan. The origin of this surname can be traced back to the place name Mangakata City in Japanese history, located in the northern part of Fukuoka Prefecture. It may also be the origin of some families with this place name. In Japan, surnames are usually associated with factors such as family, region, and occupation. Source, Zhu. In the Kojiki, Japan's oldest history book, the names of gods appear in turn, and the first one that appeared was the name of a person named Enyun Ren. Enyun, an ancient wealthy family who came to the east of Hong Kong and made tribute payments and maritime transportation of seafood. Enyun, Atsumai, Atami, 10, Karen, and Kaibu. As an ancient maritime military force, the descendants of Enyun commanded the seaside tribes. Department means a functional means. Enyun is a descendant of Myanjin Shen who was born in the water. Munakata, the descendant of the three pillars goddess who was born by a vow between Amaterasu and Susanoo in Amanan province. Zhongxing, Zhongfeng, Zhongxiang and Dongfeng are its deformations. Fujiwara, Tenjiya no Mikato, who delivered the congratulatory message before Tenno Iwato, became the minister in charge of the festival, and his descendant Kamazu was given the Fujiwara surname by Emperor Tenchi. Ishive, Munakata, Ogami, Kamo, Isun, Kami, Naga, the descendants of the Lord Ogami. Suwa, Kagami, the son of the Lord God of Okuninya, resisted the envoys of Takamagahara and fled to Lake Suwa in Shinano province, becoming the ancestor of the Suwa clan. 6th. Munakata Sanjoshin. Source, ChatGPT. Munakata Sanjoshin are three goddesses in Japanese mythology who are said to live in Munakata Taisha Shrine in Munakata City, Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. Munakata Taisha Shrine is an ancient and important shrine dedicated to the three goddesses Munakata. These three goddesses are Ookami, the great god of Munakata Taisha Shrine. She is considered one of the main gods in Japanese mythology and is in charge of the rituals of Munakata Taisha Shrine. Nakakami of Munakata Taisha Shrine, she is the second among the three goddesses of Munakata and is also an important deity in the shrine. Kami of Munakata Taisha Shrine, she is the smallest of the three goddesses of Munakata, but she also has an important status and role. The three Munakata goddesses play an important role in local beliefs and are considered the patron saints of the ocean and navigation. People often pray to them to bless ships and fishermen with good harvests. In Munakata City and surrounding areas in Japan, people often hold various celebrations and rituals to worship these three goddesses. Source, Wikipedia. The Munakata three goddesses are three goddesses enshrined at Munakata Taisha Shrine in Munakata City, Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. These three gods are the gods who protect the safety of sea routes to the Korean peninsula from Genkai Nada. They have been valued by the Yamato court since ancient times. According to the record in the first volume of the Nihon Shoki on the gods, Amaterasu broke the 10-grip sword of Sumanamon into 3 pieces, threw it in the famous well of Tianzhen, chewed and blew out the mist, and gave birth to Tashinheim, Jitsuzuheim, and Jiichi. Kitsuda-im and other 3 goddesses. Then Sugamuzu took the 8-foot Megatama hanging on Amaterasu, washed it with water from the innocent well, put it in his mouth and chewed it, and after blowing it, he came up one after another, Genja, I am victorious, I am victorious, Sunaten 9 Hoerzun, Tensui. There are 5 male gods including Nichime, Tenjin Hikone no Mikato, Hatsuiko Hikone no Mikato, and Kumano Sasho Hikome. 7th. 311 Earthquake. Source, ChatGPT. The 311 Great Earthquake refers to a strong earthquake that occurred in the northeastern waters of Japan on March 11, 2011. It is also called the Great East Japan Earthquake or the Tohoku Earthquake. The epicenter of this earthquake was located in the southeastern waters of Fukushima Prefecture, with a magnitude of 9.0. It was the 4th largest earthquake in Japanese history. The earthquake triggered a huge tsunami and led to a nuclear accident, which seriously affected the entire Japan and the world. The tsunami triggered by the earthquake caused serious damage to coastal areas, resulting in a large number of casualties and property losses. In addition, the earthquake also caused a nuclear leakage accident at the Fukushima nuclear power plant, causing widespread radiation pollution. It became the 2nd highest level nuclear leakage accident in the world. It was rated as a serious accident by the International Atomic Energy Agency and had a negative impact on the environment and human health. Caused long-term effects. This earthquake is one of the most serious natural disasters in Japan in recent years and one of the most serious earthquakes in the world. It has had a profound impact on Japanese society, economy, and politics, and has also attracted global attention to earthquake and tsunami disaster prevention. Source, Wikipedia. The Great East Japan Earthquake refers to the large-scale disaster caused by the Tohoku Pacific offshore earthquake that occurred in Japan on Friday, March 11, 2011, including the accompanying huge tsunami and aftershocks. The disaster-stricken areas were mainly concentrated in eastern regions such as Tohoku, Kanto, and Hokkaido. The coastlines of Iwate, Miyagi, and Fukushima prefectures closest to the epicenter were all hit by huge tsunamis, and some areas several kilometers away from the coast were also submerged. Many coastal cities and facilities were destroyed. The number of victims and missing people in Miyagi Prefecture alone was close to 11,000, and the economic losses were even more incalculable. The huge tsunami caused by the earthquake eventually led to the accident at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The scale of this earthquake far exceeds the Great Kanto earthquake and the Meiji Sanriku earthquake, the most destructive earthquakes in Japan since the Meiji era, and is the strongest known earthquake in Japanese history. On Friday, March 11, 2011, at 2:46 and 18 seconds p.m. local time, an earthquake with a moment magnitude of 9.0, measured by the Meteorological Agency, measured by USGS, occurred in the Northwest Pacific Ocean 130 km east-southeast of the Ashika Peninsula in Miyagi Prefecture, Japan. It was a powerful earthquake with a moment magnitude of 9.1 and a Japan Meteorological Agency magnitude of 8.4, with a focal depth of 24 km, 14.9 miles. It was also the largest earthquake ever recorded in Japan. This earthquake is a large thrust zone earthquake. In Kurihara City, Miyagi Prefecture, the earthquake intensity was measured above 7. A total of 36 cities, towns, and villages in 4 prefectures, including Miyagi Prefecture and Fukushima Prefecture, also measured earthquake intensity above 6. The earthquake also triggered a huge tsunami. 8th. Miyazaki Ken. Source, ChatGPT. Miyazaki Prefecture, Japan, is located in the southeast of Kyushu, Japan, with an area of approximately 7,735 square kilometers. It is an administrative division on Kyushu, one of the 4 largest islands in Japan. The capital of Miyazaki Prefecture is Miyazaki City. Miyazaki Prefecture is famous for its magnificent natural scenery and rich cultural heritage. The region's beautiful beaches, lush forests, spectacular mountains, and warm climate attract many tourists for their vacations. In addition, Miyazaki Prefecture is also an important area in Japanese history and has many historical and cultural sites such as shrines, temples, ancient ruins, etc. Among them, Miyakanaho, the capital city of Miyazaki Prefecture, was an important political and cultural center in ancient Japan and has preserved many ancient buildings and historical relics. Miyazaki Prefecture is also famous for its unique culture and cuisine, such as Miyazaki beef, Kyushu grilled chicken, and local sake. Overall, Miyazaki Prefecture is a region that combines natural beauty, history, culture, and food, attracting many tourists to explore and experience. Source, Wikipedia. Miyazaki Prefecture, Japanese, Miyazaki Ken, is a county located in the southeastern part of Kyushu, Japan. It borders the Pacific Ocean to the east, Kagoshima Prefecture to the south, Kumamoto Prefecture to the west, and Oita Prefecture to the north. The capital and largest city is Miyazaki City. The county tree is the Canada date palm. Due to its warm climate and southern style, Miyazaki Prefecture was once a honeymoon destination after the 1960s. Miyazaki in spring is famous for its professional baseball spring training camps. Miyazaki Prefecture has been settled since before the Yomon period. There are a large number of archaeological sites in the Miyazaki Plain area, with a history of about 25,000 years. After the Nara period, it was the seat of the Hyuga kingdom and was part of the Seikide. During the Meiji era, Japan abolished feudal lords and established prefectures. Miyazaki Prefecture was part of Kagoshima Prefecture from 1876 to 1883. It later regained its independence in 1883 and became Miyazaki Prefecture. 9th. Yoishi, Shinseiki. Source, ChatGPT. Yoshi, also known as Shinseiki, is a concept in Japanese Shinto belief, usually considered to be a stone or object with divine power, used to protect a place or place. This stone can be used to ward off evil, protect security, or suppress disasters. In Japanese Shinto, keystones are often associated with shrines and are considered to be the residence or symbol of the kami. People often place important stones in important places or places to pray for the blessing and protection of the gods. Keystones come in various shapes, sizes, and materials. Some are naturally formed stones, while others are carved or processed. Sometimes the stone is also used for sacrificial rituals or religious activities. Kaname stones can often be seen in some traditional buildings, temples, shrines, castles, and other places in Japan. Not only are they a religious symbol, they are also an important part of Japanese culture and history. Source, Baidu Encyclopedia. Keystone, one of Japanese myths and legends, is located in Kashima Shrine in Kashima City, Ibaraki Prefecture, Katari Shrine in Katari City, Chiba Prefecture, Omura Shrine in Iga City, Mie Prefecture, and Kashima Shrine in Kami Town, Miyagi Prefecture. There are many rumors about the keystone. The keystone is considered to be a spiritual stone that can calm earthquakes, and most of them are buried underground. Legend has it that earthquakes are caused by giant catfish in the ground. When the giant catfish moves, earthquakes occur. Because the big catfish is contained in the stone, earthquakes rarely occur in Kashima. According to another legend in this county, the giant catfish lies underground all over Japan, with its head and tail connected here. Kashima Myojin nailed the head and tail of the giant catfish with a nail, and the stone was the nail. In Xiaosien County, Nagano Prefecture, earthquakes have occurred continuously since March of the 4th year of Hung Hua, 1847. People also learned to place a stone like the Kashima Shrine's keystone. In Hosokawa County, Shimane Prefecture, some old households placed the keystone in their houses. Legend has it that the stone was transformed into a wooden stake erected by Yasumizuo Mitsuno no Ming, and became the patron saint against earthquakes. According to the Small History of Katari Shrine, during the pacification of China in Vihara, Katorayura, Katarigara, was still an ordinary country with frequent earthquakes. This is because a giant catfish, earthquake catfish, lives in the ground and is causing a lot of trouble. So Katari and the great master of Kashima inserted stone rods deep into the ground and pierced the head and tail of the giant catfish. It is said that the keystone of Kashima Jingu Shrine can catch the head of a giant catfish. In catfish paintings, images of gods stepping on giant catfish and wielding swords often appear. The above ground part of the main stone is only a small part, but it extends deep underground. It is said to suppress the giant catfish or dragon that causes earthquakes in the underground. The two keystones are connected underground. Giant catfish, or dragons, are found throughout Japan, surrounding Japan, and also playing a role in protecting the country. Kashima Jingu and Katari Jingu are two of the three shrines in Japan that have called themselves shrines since ancient times. The other is Ise Jingu, which shows their importance. The ones who laid the keystone to quell the earthquake were Kashima Jingu shrines enshrined deity Onsutsuki Ogami, Kate Mikami Raijin, and Katari Jingu's enshrined Katsumi no Tsukami. The great god of Ongzuchi calmed the god of Kunisatsu during the pacification of Weiwan Chugoku, and this gave rise to the legend of using the stone to calm the earth. In New Kashima Jingu Chronicles, the etymology of Kenai the thunder god, and but is soul, is there is thunder in the sky and earthquake on the ground. Earthquake, earthquake, is not an earthquake in the narrow sense, but dawn, a vibration that is the fetal movement of all things, waving a sword, / the shivering god, Kashima Tate, the sprout of Eastern Kingdom, Hitachi Zone praying for a safe childbirth, and other symbolic meanings started the belief in Kaishi. 10th. Tokugawa Mitsueki. Source, ChatGPT. Tokugawa Mitsukuni, 1628–1701, also known as Mito Mitsukuni, was a famous daimyo and scholar in the middle of the Edo period in Japan, and the second-generation general of the Edo shogunate, Tokugawa Hidetada. Grandson. Mitsueki was born in a branch of the Tokugawa shogun family. His father was Tokugawa Iemitsu and his grandfather was Tokugawa Ieyasu. Guangzhou has made outstanding achievements in the fields of politics, military, and culture. Politically, Mitsudo implemented a series of political reforms under the leadership of the Mito domain, committed to strengthening governance within the domain and the welfare of farmers. He implemented a series of economic policies and agricultural reforms, which promoted the economic development and social stability of the Mizuto domain. In terms of culture, Mitsueki is a literature and historian. He is committed to studying and promoting Japanese history and culture. He has compiled a large number of historical materials and works and has made great contributions to Japanese history and literature. He was also one of the compilers of Yamato Histories, Japan's earliest encyclopedia. Mitsueki was also an important educator. He promoted universal education, promoted the development of education in the Mito domain, and trained a large number of scholars and talents. In general, Tokugawa Mitsueki was an outstanding politician, scholar, and educator in Japanese history. He had a profound impact on Japanese politics, culture, and education, and was known as a leader in the mid-Edo period of Japan. An outstanding political reformer and cultural figure. Source, Wikipedia. Tokugawa Mitsukuni, Japanese, Tokugawa Mitsukuni, July 11, 1628 to January 14, 1700, was a daimyo in the early Edo period of Japan and the second-generation lord of Mito domain. The original name was Tokugawa Mitsukuni, and later it was renamed Tokugawa Mitsukuni. The character is a variant of and is one of Empress Wu's new characters. Mitsuki's father was Tokugawa Yorifusa, the first lord of Mito domain, and his grandfather was Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first general of the Edo shogunate to conquer barbarians. Because he was an official of the Yellow Gate, he was known as the Mito Yellow Gate. The Japanese folktale Mito Yellow Gate has Tokugawa Mitsuhiro as the protagonist. Tokugawa Mitsuki's father was Tokugawa Yorifusa, the first head of the Mito Tokugawa family and the first lord of the Mito domain. His mother was his concubine Tani Hisako, Tani clan. His grandfather was Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first general of the Edo shogunate to conquer barbarians. In fact, Yorifo never had an official wife in his life. Hisako gave birth to Yorifo's eldest son, Matsudera Yoshige, who was a higher status concubine. His elder brother is Matsudera Yorishige, his elder sister is Seiden Dahime, Maida Mitsutaka, and his younger brother is Matsudera Riley. Special Introduction. Journey to Suzuya, Suzume no Tojimari. Connecting the present, past, and future. Suzuya's journey to close her doors begins. From the moment I met the young man who was looking for the door. Embark on an incredible and mysterious journey. 17-year-old girl Suzuya lives with her aunt in a quiet seaport town in Kyushu. One day on the way to school, Suzuya passed by a handsome young man. The young man who wanted to go to the ruins said that he was looking for the door. Suzume chased him and came to the ruins in the mountain. There was only an old white door. It seems that it was destroyed and left alone. As if attracted by something, Suzume moved towards the door. Stretch out your hand. Weathering with you, Tenki no Ko. This is. Only she and I know. Secrets about this world. In the summer of his first year of high school, Hodaka ran away from his hometown on an outlying island and came to Tokyo. But the dream of independent living soon shattered in reality. The continuous heavy rain in Tokyo seems to symbolize Fang Jiao's gloomy future. In the difficult life, the sail is higher than the corner of the crowded city. Meet Hina, a mysterious girl who lives with her younger brother. It will clear up soon. On the overgrown roof of the abandoned building, after Hina's words, the dark clouds disperse and the sun shines. The grey world returns to bright colors. In an era of abnormal climate, young girls who are teased by their fate. How to choose your own life. Your name. Kimi no Nawa. Two people who have never met each other. An incomprehensible encounter. Let the gears of destiny begin to turn. Sanyi, a female high school student who lives in the mountains, leads a melancholy life every day. The election in which her father, the mayor, participated, the ancient customs of her family's shrine, and the small village at an age when she was inexplicably concerned about what she saw around her, she had a strong longing for urban life. In my next life, please let me be born as a handsome boy in Tokyo. One day, Mitsuha dreamed that she was a high school boy. Rooms she has never seen before, friends she does not know, bustling streets and fashionable cafes, Sanyi enjoys the urban life she longs for in her dreams. Taki, a male high school student living in Tokyo, also had strange dreams. In the dream, he was a female high school student who lived in the mountains. Occasionally forgotten memories and time, incredible but continuous dreams. Mitsuha and Taki finally realized. Have I exchanged souls with him/her? Conclusion. Really have to close the door.